B, AP Micro FRQ number 2. This is obviously a labor question. Let's see if we can do it together. The table above gives a short-run marginal revenue product of labor per day for a perfectly competitive firm. The firm is currently selling its product at a market price of $5. Calculate the marginal physical product of the third worker. So for the third worker, if the price, now remember, marginal revenue product, we should know, is marginal product times the price of the good. Whatever the price of the good was, it's $5. Our marginal revenue product for the third worker is $4.50. So it should just be $4.50 divided by 5. 5 goes into 45 on 9 times, right? 45, 0. So it looks like the marginal product, is that right? 5 times 90 should be $4.50. I think that's right. So the marginal product physical. Now remember, they say physical product, but for the college and the marginal physical product, our marginal product formula is the change in total product over a change in quantity. Our change in quantity for the College Board is almost always 1, 1, 1. Notice we went from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. It's always a change of 1. So really we're just interested in the change of our total product would give us our marginal product. So the marginal product, physical product, is just our marginal product. That's all we really need to know here. That's all a little confusing unless we had time to work it out. Just understand, anytime you see the word marginal physical product, we're really talking about your marginal product there. They're just trying to be a little tricky. Third worker, I think, is 90. Define the law of diminishing marginal return and explain why it occurs. Okay, I haven't done that in a while. As we add more and more inputs, to a fixed capital, at first you get an increase in production over time. As you add more and more inputs, production will decrease. I wonder if that's going to be okay. I'll have to look it up afterwards. I tend to do these just off the cuff. I think that would be right. Define the law of diminishing returns, explain why it occurs. And I think we did. I think in the definition, doesn't it explain why it occurs? What we do know is we get this marginal product curve that does this kind of shape. And recognize that our marginal cost curve is just a mirror image of your marginal product curve. This is increasing returns here, right? As I hire my first workers, your marginal product increases and each worker makes more and more stuff, right? And then over time, right? Well, while your marginal product is increasing, your marginal costs are going down. At some point, we hit diminishing marginal returns right there where marginal product is maximized and where marginal cost is minimized. That's diminishing marginal returns, meaning that as I add more and more workers, 1 worker, 2 worker, 3 worker, I get that increase in production. As I add that 4th worker, they start producing less and less after that. And my costs obviously would keep going up as each worker that I hire afterwards would produce less and less. I hope that kind of helps. I hope so. Diminishing marginal returns first occurs with the hiring of which worker? With the hiring of the third worker, wouldn't it be? It looks like our marginal returns, the price hasn't changed. So what we know is that the marginal product must be going up here and then going down. So it starts going down right there. So we get this increase in production with our first 2 workers, and it looks like with our third worker, our marginal revenue product starts falling. So I think it's got to be the third worker here, if that makes sense. What is the highest daily wage that the firm is willing to pay the 5th worker? Well, the 5th worker brings in $300. This is the way we sort of understand this, is the workers bringing marginal revenue product per day is the amount that 5th worker brings into our company. Obviously, we would pay that worker no more than $300 a day, or we would be losing money. So the highest daily wage would be 300. Recognize that this is the point. That wage, if this is the marginal revenue product, your marginal revenue cost is your wage. So we would pay all of these workers, if we were paying. It is perfectly competitive labor. It says it's a perfectly competitive firm. It doesn't tell us whether it's a perfectly competitive labor market or not. But we could assume that if it was, this would be the wage we would pay all our workers. This guy brings in $450. We hire him. We pay him $300. This guy brings in $500. We like him a lot. This guy brings in $450. We like him. $400. We like that guy. This is where our marginal revenue product would equal our marginal revenue cost. This is our profit max point. And we would hire up to the fifth worker there. There's a lot of labor question tables. Make sure you understand them. There's about 8 of them from the past. Make sure you do them all. All right. What will happen to the demand for labor if the market price of the product increases? So if the price of the good goes up, our marginal revenue product has to go up. And if our marginal revenue product goes up, then obviously we would hire more workers. The way we think about it is, let's say if this was our marginal revenue cost or our wage, this is our demand for labor or our marginal revenue product. Again, to find the marginal revenue product, it's marginal product times the price of the good, which is equals the marginal revenue product. If the price of the good goes up, the marginal revenue product would increase also, meaning that it would shift to the right. And we could see that here we were, that amount of labor we hired before, now we're going to hire this amount of labor. So the amount of labor, our demand for labor would increase, and we would explain it using that sort of explanation. That as the price of the good goes up, our marginal revenue product would go up, therefore demand for labor would shift to the right. All right, that was kind of a quick and dirty way to talk about that one. All right, guys, be safe. Take care. Bye.